All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Raiders rookie offensive lineman DJ Glaze and his performance in his first preseason game. Exciting set of clips for you guys talking about what Glaze will bring to this Raiders offense. As always, if you appreciate this content, give us a like, give us any comments with any feedback you might have. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, opening up here is Glaze right there, number 71 on the right side of your screen. And this is going to be a play action game here, passing play for the Raiders. They're going to get everybody up front on the offensive line working to the offense's left. Everyone's going to take the gap to their left in this structure right here. Just working this way. Glaze is working that way. The tight end, who's right behind the receiver right there, he's staying home. He's the only guy not focusing on a gap. He's taking that in man on the line of scrimmage right there. This right guard right here, even though his responsibility is this gap, he has to take his right hand and right foot and kind of post it into this defensive tackle right here. Give the right tackle, Glaze, time to come over, because obviously you can look at it. If number 66, the guard, bails too early, Glaze, that's a long way to go. This guy gets easy pressure on the quarterback. Happens all the time. So this right guard has to really make sure he stays in there good to help his buddy out. But here's the problem. Number 54 for the Vikings, he takes this as an opportunity to blitz. This forces the right guard 66 to fly over. This looks like a kill shot opportunity for the Vikings, but Glaze right here shows off an incredible amount of athleticism and just a great job executing, and it results in a touchdown for the Raiders. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see that linebacker. He timed that perfectly. He's flying up there. Number 66 has to just do whatever he can to run over there. That means Glaze, he's got to get inside all by himself. Watch how much ground Glaze covers. He gets over there so quickly, gets his foot in the ground, bodies him up, and then keeps working his feet, squares him up, stays with him. Oh my goodness gracious, that's perfect. And it's a touchdown. Folks, this doesn't happen very much in the National Football League. Like 9 times out of 10, this is just pressure right in the quarterback's lap. And as we watch this play progress, you can see right here the structure of the defense. Everyone's got outside pressure. They're expecting this defensive tackle right here to get pressure right in the quarterback's face. But because of DJ Glaze doing such a great job and staying with him right there, it allows Gardner Minshew to actually have some poise and calm in the pocket, see his open receiver, and deliver a great football for a touchdown. Again, imagine if I believe that's number 91 for the Vikings or whoever the defensive tackle is, if he's right there in his face like the Vikings defense drew it up, Gardner Minshew is feeling this pressure. He probably has to throw it away. But because Glaze does such a great job, covers up so much ground, gets in a really great position, great base, squares him up, uses his hands well, hands inside, moves his feet laterally, great athleticism, stays with him, shows some fight. I mean, checks every single box right here. This is how touchdowns happen, right? And this is a good throw by Minshew. Great catch, great route by the receiver, all that stuff. But it starts up front with protection, and this is a great example of that by DJ Glaze.
Yeah, Nick, and I think coming out of college, this was one of Glaze's highlights was how good he was as a pass blocker. He had an 80 plus PFF pass blocking grade in each of the past 2 seasons coming out of Maryland. This is a guy playing 1,000 plus snaps at each of the tackle positions, both left and right. He's a very versatile pass blocker, does a lot of really great work from that position. So I think this is where we're seeing the Raiders were drawn to him early on in this draft.
All right, we've got another pass protection for you. There is Glaze right there, number 71 at right tackle. And this is a play that shows off Glaze's intelligence and his ability to recognize and react. So in this structure right here, the way it's set up, Glaze is most likely going to be one-on-one on the end man on the line of scrimmage. But what happens here is number 54 for the Minnesota Vikings. He walks up. He actually ends up coming off the edge. And the goal here is to create chaos. You have a really wide, I call him a wide 3 technique. Some people would call him maybe a 4-eye because he's so wide. But I think structure-wise from the defense, he's really more of a 3 technique. You have him lined up on the inside eye of the tackle right there. He's going to go this way. You've got this edge defender right here, most times you'd expect him to take an outside path. He's actually going to go this inside B gap. And again, you're going to have 54 come outside. And the whole point here is to create chaos and confusion. And what usually happens is this tackle right here, he takes a pass set. This guy goes inside right here. The tackle chases him. He can't get there, hits the quarterback or the end man of the guy, cleans it up. And it's usually a disaster for the offense. But let's watch Glaze here. He does the really smart thing here. He focuses on the most dangerous defender and does a great job blocking him. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap again. You can see the defensive tackle. He works inside. You can see that defensive end right there. He's about to work inside right there. He's going inside. Number 54 is working outside. Again, the defense is doing exactly like they wanted to draw it up. But watch how calm Glaze is right here. He recognizes the inside move, covers him up, bodies him up, gets that defensive end's hands down too right there, allows Minshew to recognize it's a hot read. He sees 54 coming, hits the wide open man, easy completion, keep the ball moving. It's the little stuff, right? And again, just like the first play where it was a touchdown, good job by Minshew, good job by the hot route receiver, right? Turning around, making sure he's available. Phenomenal work by those two guys, undeniably so. But none of it happens if you don't have a calm, cool, collected offensive lineman to help you out. He doesn't get overwhelmed by the situation. He does uses great technique to block inside, gets that defensive lineman's hands down, make sure there's no one right in the feet in the face of the quarterback outside of the edge rusher who Minshew is able to throw over him because he's got the hot read. Again, it's just quality work right here by DJ Glaze, and it results in a successful play for the Raiders. It's stuff like this, right? Let's take a look at it from the wide copy right here. There he is at the top of your screen. Watch how he recognizes. He kicks out wide like normal, and the moment he sees it's an inside move, pounds his feet inside, bodies him up, does a great job. Again, because right here, Minshew, any quarterback can handle an outside edge rusher unmolested. If he has a clean space in front of him, he either can get rid of the ball to the hot read or he can try and escape, right? Quarterbacks can handle that. That's what they're taught to do. That's what they're forced to do. But you cannot allow pressure inside. If you get pressure outside and inside, you're done as an offense. But Glaze does a great job preventing the inside pressure. This is nice work here from the rookie. All right, going with a little bit more traditional pass protection situation, there is Glaze once again at right tackle, number 71. And here you can see the Minnesota Vikings. They've got a head up zero technique. I'll call him maybe a one technique, but either way, he's basically lined up right on the center. They've got the linebacker walked up right here. Again, I think he's more of a B gap kind of defender, even though he's just outside the tackle. And I think this edge defender right there is just really wide because it's a pass rushing situation. But the whole point of this defensive structure is to create one-on-ones, right? You have this defensive tackle right here. He's probably going to work this way, again, to get one-on-one with the center. This guard right here, he's got to check one-on-one with this linebacker. Again, one-on-one matchup. And then you get one-on-one right here with Glaze and the edge rusher right there. And again, this is classic mono-y-mono matchup on the edge as a pass protector. Can you take this one-on-one matchup and give your quarterback a chance? Glaze certainly can. Let's check it out. There's a snap. Again, Glaze gets into his kick set. Folks, I really love how square his shoulders are. It's kind of a minor technical thing, but he's great out of his stance. He keeps his shoulders square. It's a really good position. He's a fundamentally sound pass protector. And here's the other thing I love about him. See how patient he is, right? Right here, he just doesn't throw his hands. He keeps his hands close, right? A lot of young offensive linemen, they're so quick, and even some veteran ones too, they're so quick to just get after this edge defender. They want to close this gap. They don't feel comfortable in this space, and that can allow edge defenders to use inside moves or outside moves to beat them and get pressure on the quarterback. But Glaze uses his patience, gets into his kick step, keeps a great relationship. Seeing how he's just inside and just upfield of the edge defender, it eliminates the inside move. It forces this edge pass rusher to work vertically and allows right there Glaze to run him upfield. Minshew can escape the pocket, convert the third down, move the chains. Again, nice play by Minshew, right? Like we talked about before. Good work here. But it all starts with good pass protection, right? They get pressure inside. The Minnesota Vikings, this linebacker beat 66 inside. They've got some pressure in the face of Minshew right there, right? Pocket's a little bit collapsing. But because Glaze does such a good job with his technique and his fundamentals here, patience, timing, everything, allows Minshew to escape, run for a first down. Great work once again from DJ Glaze.
Yeah, Nick, and we see what Glaze is able to do. He's using his arms, he's fending off blockers. I think that has a lot to do with how he measured out in the draft. He's in the 98th percentile for wingspan for a guy his size, 82 and 6/8 wingspan for a guy that's 6'4". That has to help him out a lot in these pass blocking situations. The absolutely massive wingspan of his, again, 98th percentile. He uses it perfectly, and I think this is one attribute that the Raiders are going to love for DJ Glaze.
All right, this next play here is once again a little bit different situation. It's going to be a play action, but it's going to be out of gun here. Obviously, as you can see, there's DJ Glaze, of course, at right tackle, number 71 for the Las Vegas Raiders. It's going to be kind of a weird deal because this defensive lineman is going to jump off sides and the center is going to snap the football, right? And that gets kind of a weird situation up front for these guys because the timing gets thrown off. And a lot of times what can happen is offensive linemen, they get kind of over their skis a little bit. Defensive lineman beats them outside. It kind of blows up the free play. Now it is a free play, so it's kind of no harm, no foul, but you really would like to take advantage of these. On free plays like this, offensive linemen like Glaze, this is where they show off their athleticism, right? They just got to find a way to get it done, right? This defensive lineman, it's going to be kind of a weird thing. Time is going to be off. He's going to jump outside. You're going to have to counteract. You're going to have to give your quarterback enough time to at least attempt a deep ball down the field to take advantage of it. Glaze does a great job here once again in a one-on-one situation, showing off his moxie and his athleticism. Let's check it out. Jumps off sides, gets a quick snap. And again, you can see the timing is kind of thrown off right there. It's kind of a weird deal. It's not as natural as it was on the previous pass protection. So this defensive lineman tries to run outside. But look at this athleticism, folks. Again, not as clean technique wise, obviously, because it's kind of a weird deal because of the penalty, but he still covers him up and he still stays on him, maintains this great relationship, keeps this defensive lineman so wide. That's one of the things I love watching DJ Glaze. He keeps all these edge defenders so far away from the quarterback at all times, uses his length, his frame, his strength, completely shields him off, allows Minshew to hit the deep ball down the field. Again, it's going to be a recurring theme on this video, guys. Minshew, great job up front. Receivers doing good work as well, taking advantage of the offsides. But you only get there when you have offensive linemen like DJ Glaze doing great work, working hard, effort, technique, competitive nature. Glaze checks every single one of these boxes. He's, I think, a hidden gem for this Las Vegas Raiders offense. I think he's a versatile guy. I think he'll do a lot of different things, and we'll talk about some of that later. But first, let's take a look at the wide copy right there. You can see offsides, gets out in space, has to react because it's a weird deal, stays with them, locks him down, big play down the field for the Raiders. All right, next up here, we got a running play in the red zone that ends up being a touchdown for the Raiders. But folks, I have no idea what the heck's going on. This is one of the crazier plays. If this was a design concept, it's absolutely awesome. There's Glaze right there at right tackle. So you're going to get the center left guard and left tackle act like it's wide zone to the left. Like they're all going to work this way right here. And I think their goal is to get these guys here. I got so many circles here. Let me clean it up. Is to get these three defensive linemen to kind of run this way a little bit. And then they're just going to get these guys on the backside right here. Just take the gap over. They're going to take the gap inside. It's probably going to be him working this way. You've got Glaze right there taking the gap here, whether it's him pinching this way or him staying out. And then you've got the tight end's going to take that gap right there. So basically, it's an inside run this direction. You've got everyone on the offensive line left going that way. You've got all these other guys just taking the gap over, and it results in a walk-in touchdown. It's really an incredible design. I hope it's by intention because it's really smart. But I want to focus on DJ Glaze here because it's one of these weird deals where sometimes you have such a great play design, it just works. It's an easy score. But I love where his headspace is at, right? He automatically, his instincts, his football IQ is in the right spot. He looks in the right direction because he naturally understands where the threats are. Let's check this out. Little motion, you get the snap. Again, you can see these three offensive linemen sprint to the left. You can see the offensive lineman on the right guard, gap over. You can see Glaze takes the gap over. Tight end takes the gap inside right there. There's nobody there. It's like a walk-in touchdown. But watch Glaze right here. He's expecting someone there. There's just nobody there. But I love his instincts. He immediately turns to the biggest threat and helps seal it off. Right now, look, it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been a touchdown anyway. But just this natural instinct. This is what's going to be good in the regular season. Because honestly, number 54, whoever's playing middle linebacker against the Raiders opponent in the regular season, he's not going to get fooled this bad. There's a good chance that he's going to be slanting inside immediately trying to take this gap. And he's going to be right here in this hole. And you're going to have an offensive lineman that's quick enough and intelligent enough to understand that he's coming. Glaze fits that mold, I think, really well. And you can see it right there. It gets upfield, immediately turns, helps seal it off, helps the touchdown. Smart rep here by DJ Glaze. All right, switching it up on you now. Here's Glaze right there, number 71, but now he's playing left tackle. And this is what gets me really excited about Glaze. You can see here from the Vikings, they've got an odd front. They've got 5 guys, right? 3 guys inside, 2 stand-up guys, 2 linebackers right there. You'll hear this called the 3-4. It's called an odd front because you got an odd number of guys on the line of scrimmage. So it makes sense. But it puts a lot of pressure on offensive linemen because it changes it up, right? You've got a guard that's now got to go wider. You've got a tackle that's got to go wider and play a lot more in space. It can be a real challenge. That's why a lot of defenses who have athletic pieces like to go with these odd fronts, these 3-4s. But here's Glaze, again, playing left tackle now in the middle of a game, switching it up, handling a one-on-one situation in space like this. It's a really phenomenal rep. Let's check out how he does here. All right, there's a snap. Again, that kick set, even though it's a left tackle now, he keeps his shoulders square. It's not as natural looking as he is a right tackle. I think he's more naturally a right tackle looking at just his technique, but he's in a solid position, good timing, right? Doesn't overextend, gets his hands right there on the edge defender, bodies him up, locks him down, gives him nowhere to go. Quarterback is able to scramble and escape the pocket. This is just really good stuff, right? And again, there's always stuff to clean up. It's not perfect right there, but I tell you what, just overall, his technique, his timing, and again, his patience. There's a lot of green grass right here. It's really hard. As a former offensive lineman myself, there is a lot of threat there that you're like, I got to close this gap because he could go anywhere. He could jump inside me. He could do so many things. It becomes a high pressure situation. It takes a special kind of mindset to be patient and just say, nope, I'm going to wait for you to come to me. I'm going to wait for you to make your move, and then I'm going to lock you down. And that mentality is special, folks. That's why I think Glaze will have a long career in the National Football League for the Raiders, if not just on his pass blocking alone, because his patience and timing is immaculate. Like I said, there's some things to clean up, but Glaze has a really bright future for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, Nick, and I think when we go through Glaze's scouting report, This is exactly what we're seeing here. I'm going to read a couple lines from it just to highlight some stuff. It says, proven durability and versatility, having started multiple positions in the offensive line. Seeing that here, switching sides, doing good already. Super smart player with a strong understanding of the game, further evidenced by instinctual play. Again, switching sides, being able to be as successful on one side or the other in the same game, which is very hard to switch positions in the same game. And finally, response to on-field changes well, able to adapt quickly to opponents and surrounding environment. I think we're seeing all of these things from Glaze. He's able to adapt. He's able to change on a dime. And I think, like you said, he's going to be a very valuable asset for this Raiders offensive line going forward.
All right, we're going to end on a running play. We've shown a lot of pass protection from Glaze, and there he is at right tackle. This was in the first half before he switched over to left tackle for a little bit in the second half. And we showed a lot of pass protection. He's a great pass protector, but he's a really good run blocker as well. Not quite as good as he is in the pass game, but this is a great example of it. So here the Raiders are basically just running a standard inside zone concept. You're going to get zone double teams this way, up to 0. You're going to get backside scoops here, working up to linebacker, backside cutoff here. You're going to get cutoff action here, and this running back's going to take this path and then try and work vertically, right? The whole goal here is essentially to try and get a seal here, get movement out of these guys that direction, then have the running back kind of split the difference there. Or if that doesn't happen, you get movement out of everybody, get all these guys going this direction, and then the running back just cuts back behind it, right? That's a concept, very standard zone concept. Everyone runs it. And again, it's a really well blocked up front by pretty much everybody, but I want you guys to focus on Glaze. It's not an impact block. It doesn't change the play, but I think it shows that he can be a very capable run blocker as well as a pass blocker. You're going to see great double teams here as well. It's a really well executed play. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the double team. You can see the movement. I tell you what, 66-79, great rep right there. Get up to the linebacker. That is good stuff there. You can check out the backside. You can see the backside cutoffs. Actually, this is a really clever design here. They actually have the tackle block out here to cut off that in man, and they have the tight end insert for the linebacker. So this is a really cool design here. You have the running back cutting up right there. You can see it working out pretty well. But again, let's focus on Glaze right here, right? He gets out on this guy. That's fine right there. Nothing wrong with that because you're just trying to create, just kind of get a little movement, get a guy on a guy, make sure this guy doesn't come over the top to make the play or blow the play up. But I love how he just stays on him and works on him and just stays on him and just works on him. You can't even see him on the screen anymore. Let's look at it from the wide copy. Again, this is what I like right here. See how he gets on him right there? That's fine. Then it works on him, stays on him, stays on him. Folks, let me back it up just a smidgen more. Right there. Nobody else is blocking anybody. I guess that receiver's blocking somebody right there. He's still on his guy. That's what I like to see in the running game from offensive tackles, right? Because it's the guards inside, the centers inside. Those are the guys that are moving people, that are bullying people, blowing people off the line of scrimmage. For me, the tackles, it's all about getting on these edge defenders and make them hate their lives, right? These guys want to get after the quarterback. They're all the pretty boys of the defensive line. You want to stay on them and just kind of make them just hate playing football just by being physical and just being kind of a nuisance. And that's exactly what Glaze is being right here. His mentality in the running game is different than it is in the passing game, and I think it's perfect. He has the perfect demeanor for an offensive tackle in the National Football League. He's got a great skill set. Overall, Glaze looks like a phenomenal addition to this Raiders offense.